Hi folks, she will hold the box up in a moment so she can see it. Traces of Hubris is what it's called, so we're going to ask her now.
Traces of Hubris.
Now, we are in the game room. What normally happens in the game room?
Gaming.
Gaming. What is now happening in the game room?
Patsy is in her litter box.
Patsy is in the litter box. Why is Patsy in the litter box?
Because she is injured.
Patsy suffered a traumatic injury this week, and so she is in kitty isolation in my game room. That was unaccounted for. So right now, this is a multi-use room.
Yes.
A multi-use room. But, do you remember who the company is? Say VUCA.
Who?
VUCA.
VUCA?
V-U-C-A. VUCA.
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 Okay.
It sounds like an Eastern European female name almost, doesn't it? VUCA. Oh, my pretty little VUCA.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. But, what's it about, miss?
I have no idea.
I bet you do from the book sitting right there.
Stalingrad?
It is on the Stalingrad campaign, because we've been reading on it a lot lately.
I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, I have been. She's really on tonight, isn't she, folks? Actually, I've been reading about the siege of Rome in 70 A.D., but that noise you heard was Patsy laying down near her metal bowl, so it's been an interesting week, to say the least, folks. So, I will be taking over shortly. She will be over here, and what do we always say next?
Bye-bye.
Bye-byes. Hi, folks. We were talking about Miss Patsy. We're talking about Patsy Control. But here was the real thing. Batcat, Miss Frankie. We lost Miss Frankie in the space of 72 hours to a catastrophic illness. It started Saturday, and by Tuesday we had to get her across Rainbow Bridge. So, Miss Frankie spent a lot of time on my desk while I was writing. She spent a lot of time in the game room with me. She will be deeply missed. She was a very good girl. She loved Pringles, and she would steal bacon and ham slices right off your plate while you're reading if you didn't pay attention. So, this has been an interesting week, and that is why the game room right now is a cat sanctuary. Normally I have other kitties in here. Right now, we don't. And in fact, what is sitting on top of my game table but a jug of litter. So we weren't kidding. Alright. You saw the game Miss Katie was holding up? You got a PK4 coming through. Two PK, not PKs, Escadazza 251s. It looks like they had the machine gun manual on them. I'm thinking so they don't look like the 75mm artillery gun. But it's good mood shaping colors on this cover. And this kind of looks like a Ukrainian sky from us having been in the Ukraine. Okay. This game came to us not from VUCA, but because we paid for it ourselves. However, they did send us this game some time ago. Another Stalingrad game. Donnerschlag, Escape from Stalingrad, which we will eventually get to. I was surprised to see that the Traces of Hubris is only 9 turns long. It's in monthly turns, and it starts right after the failed Izum offensive of May 1942 by the Soviets. So it starts right after that. The components. Well, we'll show them to you this way real quick, and then I will show them to you in more detail. There is the, what do I want to call it? Game turn track here. The problem with it though, and you're going to hear me fuss incessantly about this, is you got here, each month turn, but it doesn't really tell you what these things are. Not referred to at all in the rules. Duh. It's a duh, folks. 3 sheets of counters. You can either go with the sexy tanks. They give you tank counters, or they give you these dull NATO symbol counters for armor and mech. Yeah. But good counter work across the board here. Most counters are double-sided, except for the Axis allies. They are not double-sided. How do you tell what units belong to what units? Well, that's kind of easy because they're color-coded. Because here you see headquarters and armies and fronts, and units are color-coded. So that's how you know who belong to each other, and and that's for purposes of attack and supply. So they matter. They matter very much here. There are 2 maps. I can't show you the maps at the moment because I don't have a board big enough to put them on. And if I try to hold them up, they kind of fall apart because it's a different sort of map the way they set it up. You either like Vuka's understated map tones or you don't. I like them. They're good enough. Big cities, bolder font in my mind this time, easier to see. Some of the towns could maybe use a little bit more, but rail lines are easy to see. Road system, easy to see. And I thought to myself earlier, I think some of the font could have been a little darker, but now I'm not so certain. I'm not certain that my note on that is correct to myself. So, what I like, as I noted about the counters, is that Vuka goes ahead, and that's Patsy, caters to treadheads like myself, and of course to Miss Katie, because she married a treadhead. She's a proud wife of a treadhead. She's a proud wife of a CDAT, because they offer us silhouettes of armor units versus just regular NATO counters. The dumb thing here, and this is dumb. We mentioned earlier about the turn record track here, and Miss Katie's going to tell me if I'm getting this at all close to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's not an example of it in the rule books. You have to intuit it out yourself, and then you're wondering, okay, it says Axis reinforcement OKH. Does that mean an OKH marker? Does that mean there's a special OKH rule? Come on, folks, make this simple. You guys are smarter than that. There's no excuse for that. Initial sensing, the rules feel clean. They look a little dense. I can tell you they're not really a little dense from having played Traces of War. I thought originally, I put the Bug game away, the Bug River game, because I thought it was. I've since come to find out that their stuff is not dense. The tables on the game are easy to use. And let's go through the player aid cards. There's player aid card Alpha. This gives you your sequence of play and your first couple key items. Then it has all your tables on the back. Well, now I'm going to fuss about the combat result table, because you've got a 1RR. The RR doesn't mean railroad. It means you've got to retreat 2 hexes. Okay, what does the 1 mean? Does that mean it's a step loss? Does it mean something else? Well, guess what's not in the rules? What the 1 and 2 stands for on the CRT. Again, come on, folks. Come on. You can infer it is because it talks about step losses, but there is not an example to tell you what it stands for. Come on. This is what we call a no-brainer. Right? Miss Katie's sitting over there smiling, going, oh, you're on the night. Then there is player aid card Bravo. This talks to you, well, and it's kind of funny here. We start with movement at the top here, and then we jump over to reinforcements over here and combat number 10 over there, and I'm going, okay, why are we jumping around like that? Alright, then you go to the back, you got the combat result table, which you know I'm already unhappy about, and then your victory conditions. Alright, works. Good. Good quality there. I know this is an unboxing video, and look on the net because I'll be starting to play on this once I get done with the 1941 World War II campaigns game by Caucasus, and then do the 1942 game. Let's just get it all done, you know. One thing they did not allow for in this game, and they allowed as an optional rule, there's no really any fluidity. No, the armor is not allowed to do as much here. Well, guess what? They're absolutely 100% right on that one, because it lessens the ability to conduct a mobile war at this time. Well, the German fuel and supply situation was akin to the child's game of red light. Red light, green light, red light, green light, green light, red light, because they did this. Supply lines crossed for his Panzer armies in the south, now it's brought to the north, now that his supply columns are gone elsewhere. We got units going to the Caucasus, and how are we going to get them supplies? So, a lot of chaos. Weird thing in the rules, the combat example is not on the same page. It starts with combat. It is on the next page over. I'm not certain why that is. Again, we're going to fuss about the red numbers. Why didn't you just say? Just put in there. The red numbers are the number of step losses you suffer that turn, or you suffer with that combat. Real simple. Who missed that? That's an editor's job. That's a game designer's job. That's the developer's job. No. Yeah, and that because Rule 10.3 on combat rolls right onto that and rolls right over it and doesn't give us an example. Now the play you pick the command markers, i.e. the headquarters. So because every turn and every game will be different, there's no set pattern. There's a lot of fluidity and a lot of, I think, future replay for this game. Because there's no set pattern. Special rule for the Luftwaffe, and this is a devil's choice. You can allocate X amount of your factors per turn to supply, because guess what? We talked about the German logistical stuff being the children's game of green light, red light, that you're always in supply trouble. Or you can use them for chaos. What do you want to use them for? You got to make that choice. That's a great thing. Rulebook, 39 pages of rule. Don't be discouraged. They're not bad. My gut feelings, despite the rules looking dense, and I thought that for the previous game, they're very programmatic in terms of structured play. Just like Traces of War, if you played it, you have no trouble getting into it. If this is your first one, you're not going to make trouble getting into this, because this is Stalingrad season. In fact, yesterday and today, or today and tomorrow are the two big days of terror bombing in Stalingrad by the Luftwaffe in 1942. So, to find these games easy to jump into and play, we thank you. If you get a chance, say a little Rainbow Bridge prayer for Miss Patsy, who's still sleeping over there. A prayer that she's not going over it and that she recovers well enough. And one for Miss Frankie, who is deeply missed in this house. So, alright folks, I'll be showing you stuff close up here in a moment. Thanks. See you in... well, a minute or two. Bye. All right, folks, like I said, we're moving on to other things, but here, as you can see, Patsy is on the floor because she hurt her back left leg. Nobody is certain why. And of course, here we got the litter box, and then we got the really big bed under the game table for us. But anyway, okay, counters. You're scared of Russian infantry. You can see your German counters here with the NATO symbology, and you can see both Soviet and German here with silhouettes. All right, good counters, air, axis control. So, counters, ta-da, done with those. Rulebook, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about 10.3. You can see right here that these silly people under combat result determination don't say what the number stands for. Now, why is that? Nowhere do you find whatever that number is. I mean, okay, you can infer that, but it's not there anywhere. No good reason for it. But you can see the examples. As usual, nice examples. But again, why is the combat example? Here's a little bit of combat over here, but then we go into reinforcements, special rules. So why is the combat example over there? Not certain about the layout for that, folks. Here, close up, is my fussing it. The game, the turn track. Okay. No example of it in the rules. Well, why is that? Was this hurried? I don't know. But it works nicely. I mean, you see it here, all 9 turns. Nice setup for one player. Is there enough room here for it? From the way I can determine, yes it is. Cards. All right, let me get the cards in the right order. Okay, card alpha. Okay, sequence of play, nice flow chart. Luftwaffe, command selection for chits, action, supply. It's really nice though, the way they have all the tables set up here. And your train effect chart, nice that. You got second one like that. You go to player B, and this is the thing where it's like reinforcements over here at 11, but then you have movement and combat 9, 10 here. That's just a little odd. And here we talk about owner applies step losses, but it doesn't say, again, what the number is. Why is that? It doesn't say that. I don't get that. Soviet fortifications, Operation Blucher for the 11th Army, and the victory conditions. So all easily set up. Your map. Okay, here's your map. 2 maps together, you go from to Voronezh, to Kursk, to Kharkov, and then all the way down to Stalingrad, which is only 2 hexes. That's all it needs to be for the scale this. Rostov-on-Don, and then we come down into the Caucasus, down to Grozny, Maikop, and not really certain what this one is, so we don't go as far south as Batum. But it's an interesting map. I like it. your books. Wow. There's 2. It's part of the trilogy. Since this game stops in December, that Operation Uranus can actually start turn 7 for the Soviets. Getting to the Gates of Stalingrad, it's a heavy read. Armageddon and Stalingrad, it's a heavy read. I mean, we're talking... No. With notes, and folks, you want to read the notes in these games. They're 800 some pages. They're dense. Glances, maps tend to suck, so be used to that, but worth picking up. You can pick these up cheaper. So, all right, folks, thank you. We'll be getting this up shortly.